You're doing good. Not many people tell me that in startup world. Are you Brazilian?
I'm Brazil.
Come on.
Brazil. Yeah, Monteiro. I mean, I have hundreds of last names.
Because you're Brazilian.
Yeah, Monteiro, Freire.
Why do
Ribeiro.
Brazilians have 100 last names? You're like volleyball players,
Yeah,
all of you. You're
I don't
huge.
know. Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Dave. I'm back with more Maker Zone productions. Been really enjoying the interaction with you, so I'm going to keep doing these because it's a way that I get to learn more about the industry that I'm working with, which is fintech, looking at new technologies. I'm here with Marcos Monteiro from Brazil.
Yep.
You want to say hi?
Exactly. Hello everyone.
He's a founder, in my eyes, a famous founder of a company who's doing artificial intelligence. It's called Vizu. And last year we met at Kickstart Accelerator, didn't we, here in
That's
Zurich?
the first time we met, yeah.
And then now we're here at the F10 Accelerator.
Which is where we were born, right?
So you were actually born here.
Yeah, we were
So-
we were the first startup here, right?
You were the first startup here.
Yeah, so like
And then you went over to Kickstart Accelerator after and took another accelerator.
after we finished here, we've completed that, we went to the Kickstarter Accelerator. Yeah, it was.
Acceleration.
I mean, for us, it was very important. Yeah.
That's cool. So what do you guys actually do? Artificial intelligence, but what does that mean? For
Yeah.
people?
So basically, Vizu, we have a vision that is to build the company brain. So a brain that understands all the company's data and can help decision makers take the right decisions by giving them the right information. So right now, Vizu basically connects the company's data to structured data. It could be, for example, on sales. And then it can ask through a chat interface in plain English, ask, write it, or say it. As for example, how much profit we make in the last 3 quarters, or 3 months, and then it goes into the data, finds the answer, and shows you a nice visualization.
Wow, so all this big data, analytics, data is the new oil stuff, you guys are practically applying, right?
Yeah, so you can actually take a bunch of buzzwords together. All of
Yeah.
them, we have AI, big data, machine learning.
You have all of it,
Yeah, we have,
but you actually built a product out of it.
yeah, we have a concrete product creating value, yeah.
Okay, because there's been tweet storms this whole year about AI and what people are going to do and going beyond chatbots and stuff. But I remember looking at your product last year, and it was already pretty tight. So it called up these circles, and it basically started answering questions. So you kind of looked at the data,
Exactly.
and then started asking like you would in a Google box.
Exactly. So you can actually, it's more than just searching. You just can really freely ask your question. So it's for business users inside companies that normally have questions like, okay, how many products did I upsell from basic to premium in the last year? And they can simply ask to the chat interface and get this information very quickly.
So who are the primary buyers of this, or who are the primary users who get value from this kind of tool?
Mm-hmm.
Is it data scientists, or is it front-end sales guys, or who gets the most value?
So it's not meant for the technical people. They can use the SQL to get it's more for the business users that need to take the decisions, so really for the decision makers on the business side.
So it might be the owner of a profit center, or
For example, if
a
you work
sales
with,
team, or-
exactly, if you work with financial controlling data, you have to.
that's another one, back office operations. So
Yeah.
finance.
So it depends on. It depends really on which data you use. If you work with sales, marketing data, you need to understand better your customer as well.
But you said something earlier, which I'm not sure people grasp, depending on who you are, what this means. So structured data. What's structured data versus unstructured data?
So structured data is all the tables that companies have, like basic kind of the database with this column with these
Like
numbers.
a chart of accounts and
Yeah, so we have very structured the names, the column, the entities, and
so a
the values.
CRM, customer relationship
For example,
management
CRM
database.
does traditional financial controlling data, productions, logistics data. We have very structured the information coming, and unstructured data is text, a lot of
internet,
text.
yeah.
Yeah, the internet, the videos, and everything that is not really processed.
So how does it actually work? Because I want people to understand the significance of this, right? Because 2 or 3 years ago, AI was this thing which we were kind of monitoring, but it was a tech theme which was off in the distance, and it was at the peak of the Gartner hype cycle.
Yep.
And now we're starting to go beyond that peak and hit commercial scalability of the technology, right?
Yep.
So how do you do that? How does that actually happen on the ground?
Yeah, we use AI to understand the concepts in the data for the system to understand what the data is about, and we use AI to understand your questions, to understand what you're talking about. So we combine both, and then we're able to answer the questions with information from the data.
So kind of Siri, Alexa, natural language processing, so the chatty feature of understanding someone's question,
Exactly.
whether it's typed or whether it's spoken.
Or spoken.
So you can speak your query.
You
or
can
type
say it, say it, and then.
So that's a nice feature, but then the other side of it is the actual machine learning side.
Yeah, the machine learning is really to do this understanding of the data, and from your question, right? And so it also suggests you the relevant questions that you should be asking. So it gets knowledge from what people are asking to suggest you new questions, understands the data, and
So does it ask you questions back?
if you didn't understand something you said. So, for example, there's a term that you use that is not in the data. It said, okay, what do you mean by that? So
And then you have to clarify this piece?
and then you clarify this,
and then
piece.
it
And then it
resolves
can
the
understand
query.
the whole question.
What's the biggest? Where's the moment where you found that you actually had a product with this? You know, when you first looked at data and it gave you back an answer where you're like, that was kind of smart. When did this happen?
That's an interesting question because actually, so we came up with Vizu during the hackathon, right? So we came up with the idea, and then we built a very simple prototype in 2 days, which was very hacked, like lots of tricks on make it work, right? And there we could already see there is like big potential in there, right? So we won the hackathon with this.
That was Six Hackathon.
The Six Hackathon, the
2
first
years
Six
ago.
Hackathon 2 years ago.
Yep.
We participated there. We got the prize, and then I was finishing at ETH, and we pitched to the group executive board and said, okay, we want to build a startup out of that. Can you give us a space to work? And then that's how we came up to F10.
Wow, so Marcus Graf and Andy E10, you know.
Yeah.
When you started installing with clients or you started running proof of concepts,
Yeah.
how did it work? Was it rough to start such real work with real clients? Did you find surprises in the data sets that you didn't imagine, or what happened?
The first customer we worked with was right after we finished the F10 here.
Yep.
And I mean, every time you work with a different company, they have a different data set with different. And each company has their data stored in a different way with different technicalities, right? That you need to adapt to it. But it's always really fun when you connect to it and you can start asking the first few questions, and the business users ask it, and you can see in their face they're really impressed, like that they can suddenly see and feel the information that it's in the data.
So you see that effect in the room when you first present
Yeah,
This
and
thing.
and the first time
on their data, actually.
yeah, exactly. When they see on their own data, I mean, first time we presented, and they're like, "Wow, I didn't know that this information was in the data." Right? It was like first time it was like there was a big data quality issue inside the data that they suddenly like could see very quick in the.
So it's like getting the gift of sight.
Yeah, exactly. That you,
It's like, wow, I can see a trend that I didn't.
yeah, and that's really motivating for us, like because. You see that people really don't see what is in the data, right? And then suddenly like it opens up.
But I'll bet you get challenged all the time, right? So the corporate buyers, they want to know what the impact would be
Yeah.
before they spend something on yet another software as
Yeah.
a service, right?
Yeah.
So how do they test that out? And then how do you show them metrics, KPIs, results out of the data analysis?
Yeah, I mean the best way to do that is through a proof of concept where we do like a small project where we can really integrate Vizu already and show really the value already, and then we compute together, okay, what is the value that it's creating, and then they can test it with their own data and be sure that it's like creating value.
Find more value in the back office operations and risk profiling, finance, legal, HR, accounting, or do you find more on the front side? So sales management, where's the best place to use such a thing?
Both are very interesting. It's like I think everybody has a need for the data. We feel like on the sales side, it's people are much more open to experiment it. So yeah, we have worked on the sales side.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, so lately we have been working on a project there.
I think that's more native for them because they've already got armies of data scientists, sales analysis teams, these legacy guys who all they do is bespoke analyses. So
Yeah.
ad hoc, why did sales go up in Germany? Why did sales go down in France? Why did it go down in this region of France? Why is that sales team underperforming that one? And then they just crawl through spreadsheets and data, don't they? Like
Yeah.
it's super manual.
Yeah, and it's very very interesting because if you go to the data itself, I mean, you just okay, how many did I sell? How many products did I sell, right? And only the simple question, right? There's different ways on how you can count how much did you sell. I mean, you can if you sold something, but then they returned the product. Do you count it or do you not count it?
Yeah, not complicated.
Yeah, but some companies count it, right? So you need to adapt it, and Vizu needs to learn how to answer these kind of questions. And it learns how to do it, and then makes it easier for the person because he doesn't need to know these technicalities, right?
Okay, so tell me a little bit about, and then we'll start to wrap up. Tell me a little bit about the team composition. Have you grown? How many clients have you been able to gather? This kind of stuff.
Yeah. So this year we had like
without revealing anything.
Yeah. We had a first investment round this year, which gave us like some boost to grow faster. We are about 7 people now, mostly technical people. And there's lots of different companies interested, so we have kind of to pick the most interesting cases, the ones that are like.
That's a nice choice to make, right?
Yeah. Because every company has this issue with data, right? Mm-hmm. So we need to see which one Veezoo fits best in there, and then because our resources are limited at the moment, mm-hmm. So we need to choose wisely which ones we.
That's a great story. So from a hackathon, through a first accelerator, through a second accelerator, gathering clients, to an investment round, from 2 guys in a garage to 7 employees, bringing AI from the bullshit stage into down on the ground reality. It seems like a good story to me, but tell me if I got something wrong. But proud of you. It's awesome.
I can't say, but I like our story.
Great. So what's your current project, and how can people get in touch with you guys if they want to look at some problem they have in their company with data?
Looking now really to insurance companies first.
Insurance companies?
Yeah, we have a good business case there. Yep. And so our next step.
What can insurance companies get out of using this data visualization and results analysis stuff?
Yeah, so the idea there is that what happens is that all these business users have questions, and they all need to ask the reporting department, and the reporting department is like filled with questions they need to answer. So it's like they have 2-3 people working full time on simply answering these questions.
Yeah.
So Veezoo, if you integrate Veezoo there, these people can simply ask Veezoo, and then the people in the reporting department can really focus on their strategic work, rather than just like querying data for the business people.
Right.
So our goal there is really to free these people, that they can make this work, and then give the business people much more information for them to take the best decisions.
Okay. That's helpful. Did you feel like we missed anything that you want to tell people? Or?
I think that we got all the information. So if any company out there in the insurance space or that has some issue that believes we can help with Veezoo, I'm happy to have a meeting and
cool.
Talk, short call.
All right. Thanks, Marcus. It's really good. I hope you guys appreciated that. Startup guys tend to be kind of quiet. He's a big guy, and he's pretty quiet, and that tends to be typical in the fintech startup-y world. And yet, you guys are super effective in what you're doing. So, very, very proud of what you've been doing.
Thanks
a lot. All right.